Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day to start things off. Malta-based Binance, a leading cryptocurrency exchange, is introducing Ethereum futures contracts with up to 50 times leverage, allowing traders to bet for or against the future price of Ether. The Ether futures contracts will be tradable against the stablecoin known as Tether. According to the announcement, the exchange is offering 50% trading fee discounts on all Binance futures contracts until the 13th of December 2019. Binance says trading on the Bitcoin USDT and Ether USDT perpetual contracts is similar to the existing BTC USDT and ETH USDT trading pairs in the spot market. Both are priced and settled in the same manner, the team said, and I do quote, Binance allows for a highly leveraged trading using a sophisticated risk engine and liquidation model. The number will change depending on the size of the position. The larger the position, the lower the leverage allowed, end quote. So we finally got news that they're finally, or rather have already launched their Ethereum futures contracts. We heard news about this a couple of months ago. I think we're in a bit of a, I think other companies and institutions are racing with each other to see exactly what they can push out there. We know, especially within the United States, that futures are not legal. Like, futures seem to be one of the main things that other companies and corporations can do to get into the cryptocurrency space, to kind of allow like another way of using Bitcoin. We mentioned before many other times that whenever institutions or people with a lot of money want to get into the cryptocurrency space, a lot of them are not content with simply being able to just buy or sell Bitcoin. This is why we have futures. We're seeing some options also popping up. I guess the main point being that Binance has, they said they were going to launch it. They launched it. I think we also heard news a couple of months ago from the people from the New York Stock Exchange / Backed that they also plan on launching Ethereum futures, I think, relatively soon. I guess they're trying to gauge and or see exactly how much interest there's going to be in the market. Also fascinating that they're doing it against Tether. I mean, not the fact that Tether has all the controversy, yada, yada, yada. It's more so that they're not doing it against a fiat currency per se. It's more so against a crypto digital token that the contracts are being traded against. Anyway, yeah, so Ethereum futures on Binance have officially launched. Here's the actual news press conference thing right here. It says Binance futures launches ETH USDT perpetual contracts with up to 50x leverage. Let's move on. Rather, even more so, let's see what this does to the price of Ether. And I mean, as far as we've seen before in the past multiple times, that Bitcoin futures have had a relatively negative effect on the price of Bitcoin. We have yet to see the effect of, or any real launch of, Ethereum futures onto the market. And I guess within the next couple of months, we're going to see price metrics as to exactly what effect this has had on the price of Ether, i.e. Bitcoin futures launched. We saw within about 6 months or a year, we had the first reports of, hey, this is actually causing the market to go down. And I wonder if it'll be a bit of a difference as far as if people are trading on Binance as opposed to them trading on the CBOE or Backed. If there's like a different breed of investor, probably not. I mean, it's more so will people use futures to bet against the price of Ether? Or will they use it as another platform to be able to show bullish sentiment in the market? That's kind of what I meant. Anyway, now we can finally move on. Next up, a fully operational crypto bank based in Switzerland is expanding into 9 other markets with a banking and securities dealer license from the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority. Its services include crypto custody, trading, and asset management. The bank has launched its investment business, including a cryptocurrency index. Seba Bank AG, formerly Seba Crypto AG, is a crypto-focused bank headquartered in Zug, Switzerland. The bank recently became fully operational and started onboarding Swiss clients after obtaining a banking and securities dealer license from the FINMA, the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority. The bank has announced it is expanding services to clients from selected foreign jurisdictions in December. A spokesperson from the bank told news.bitcoin.com that the selected jurisdictions are the UK, Italy, Germany, France, Austria, Portugal, almost said Poland, Netherlands, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Seba Bank aims to build a bridge between the traditional banking world and the crypto world. Its services include custody, storage, trading, and liquidity management, asset and wealth management, transaction banking, and tokenization. They are aimed at professional investors, family offices, banks, so they're aimed at very rich people. By the time we got to the word banks, I was like, okay, I get it. They're aiming for institutional investors, pretty much people who have very heavy pockets. The spokesperson further claimed that the bank accepts Bitcoin, Ether, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin. I think that's Lumens. XLM is Lumens. Because XLM and the other one also confuse me with Monero. Sometimes it's like MLX or something like that. XLM and Neo for its custody service is also trading Bitcoin, Ether, Ethereum Classic, Litecoin. I want to say Lumens. It has to be Lumens. And XLM for its trading as well. This is now, for those who are keeping up, the second bank that we have heard of in the past 4 days, who now has the legal right to be able to buy, sell, hold, and trade cryptocurrencies. I was totally correct the other day when we were talking about the fact that the German banks, apparently, allegedly, according to multiple news sources, will be able to soon buy, hold, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies and custody them for their clients and yada, 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 that it would have almost no effect on the price. I spoke with a couple of friends about this news, and they lost their minds. The idea that we would have news that a number of banks in the country would have legal right to be able to jump into the cryptocurrency space and also buy up cryptocurrencies was insane, and then the price ended up going down. So I'm going to assume this will also not make even the slightest drop in the water, no waves at all within the cryptocurrency space. This has to lead to something. When we keep getting news that these major institutions have gotten their licenses, are in cryptocurrencies, the banks are buying and selling and trading, and they're holding and they're custodying, and they've opened up to other jurisdictions, and they're holding these coins, and they're so and so and so. Wait, do I have it here? Yes, there's another story that's going to fit almost perfectly with exactly what I'm talking about. The amount of adoption and movement that we're seeing in the cryptocurrency space does not make much sense to where prices are right now. Anyway, the point being, a bank in Switzerland is now expanding, and they are targeting rich people, and they're allowed to buy, sell, hold, and trade cryptocurrencies. Won't have any effect on the price, but it's definitely doing something behind the scenes, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, but you'll get it as time goes along. Anyway, let's move on. Here's the other one. The battle of the Bitcoin futures platforms is heating up. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or the CME, has released details of its new Bitcoin options contracts, while the launch of BAC's equivalent product is less than a week away. I think it's happening on the 3rd. It says, how will Bitcoin's price react? This time 2 years ago, the CME was poised to launch its game-changing Bitcoin futures contracts. It was the first time investors were able to short or bet against the digital asset, and they did it spectacularly. Since then, it has been widely reported that the U.S. government purportedly fast-tracked the offerings in order to burst the Bitcoin bubble. You can find that article. I made a video about it. It had to be about 2 weeks ago. The long and short of it is, I think the guy, he was either from, he had to be from the CFTC. He came forward and said, he was talking on a panel about why we actually have Bitcoin futures. He said the main point was it would have taken a while to push the futures through, because they didn't know what effect it would have on Bitcoin's price as far as like if it would be optimistic. But what ended up happening was that Bitcoin started skyrocketing at the end of 2017, and they made sure to fast track. We apparently, I don't know if there are documents, but we had news from the head of the CFTC that should be more than enough, that this is why we actually have Bitcoin futures. It was meant to burst the Bitcoin bubble, because the people in charge felt that the market was far too optimistic. And in order to make it less optimistic, you needed something that would allow people to be able to bet against it. That was kind of the long and short of it. It worked. Bitcoin hit its all-time high the day after the launch and tanked over 80% over the following year, which leads me to believe that if we had never had, dare I say the word manipulation, if we had never had manipulation in the market, I'm curious as to exactly where the prices would have gone. I don't think we'd still have a going up forever type thing. Markets don't go up forever. I'm certain we would have neared a $28,000 to $30,000 Bitcoin, probably like a $5, $6 XRP. I think it would have been very great times, but I think the smash down would have probably been even, I don't know if it would have been even harder. Anyway, fast forward 2 years and the scene is completely different. Markets have settled somewhat, and institutional investors have a lot more to choose from if they want to dabble in a bit of Bitcoin. The CME has just detailed its Bitcoin options contracts, which are due for launch on the 13th of January of next year. The primary difference between futures and options is that the contract holder is obligated. They must sell a futures contract on the expiration date. With options, there is no obligation to sell the contract on expiry, according to Investopedia. Love it. Giving greater flexibility, which of course may impact market prices. So the next couple of days doesn't have the date here for when Bakkt is going to launch it. No date. Nope, nothing. I'm pretty certain it's within the next couple of days. The next couple of weeks are going to be very interesting to see how things kind of go. Ethereum's upgrade, the launch of Bakkt options. There's one or two other things that are supposed to also be happening with a couple of coins. Let's see how this pans out. I am gonna stay centered as much as possible, not trying to be too here or there. But what it appears to be is that I'm sure behind the scenes there's a lot of discussions as to exactly what can and cannot be launched. We know that a Bitcoin ETF is probably years away. Please don't hold your breath on that. What it seems to be is that people are scouring any type of market to figure out if they can not integrate it with Bitcoin, but have something derived from Bitcoin into that market as well. And this is why we're seeing a huge uptick in options. Don't be surprised if within the next 2 months, we also get indications that the people from Binance and Coinbase are also going to try and launch options. We'll see. However, CME is doing it, and Bakkt is launching theirs, I think, within the next couple of days. All the dates are jumbled up in my head. Next up, the cryptocurrency exchange BitFlyer has just added support for XRP. This will allow its large number of users to buy, sell, and hold XRP. And it says diversify their portfolios. BitFlyer is located in Japan and is recognized for having one of the largest real trading volumes in the market. According to a recent announcement made by the company, the cryptocurrency started to be traded on the 2nd of December, and it will help users add a new digital asset. The exchange is informed that XRP is the currency that boasts Japan's second largest domestic trade volume after Bitcoin, which is really weird as well. And I'm going to say it out loud. I wonder where Bcash falls on that list. For the main reason that if you watch some of my other videos and if you've done your own research, some of the, from what I've seen online, from what I've read, some of the largest, not influencers, supporters of Bcash apparently are living in Japan. I have to sneeze. Please go away. After, I almost said I have to sneeze again. Some of the largest supporters of Bcash actually live in Japan, and there was a what was it called? Like a survey done a couple of months ago, trying to see how many people within Japan liked Bcash, and it was actually a pretty large amount of people. I assume it's because of washing of the mind. However, interesting that XRP is actually number 2, and I guess it also has to do with the amount of banks in Japan who are also obsessed with XRP. Anyway, the point being, I like news whenever a new exchange, or rather an exchange, is adding a new token to their platform. We have not seen much of that recently. There hasn't been a large amount of news of an exchange adding a brand new coin. I assume it's because maybe all the major, most popular coins are already on different platforms. We used to get tons of news before, like EOS has been added. This has been added. Like Cardano has been added. A lot of that has simmered down rapidly. But yeah, XRP is now on BitFlyer. What is this? It's the actual PDF for them from BitFlyer. It says we're handling XRP to commemorate our handling. 10 winners will receive 100,000 JPY. If you're in Japan, go for it. Let's move on. Here's the one that ties in with the other one that I was just talking about as far as like the market movement and actual adoption. Over 60%, 60% of the total Bitcoin in circulation has not left its wallet in more than a year, highlighting demand among investors. This was the conclusion of the analyst known as Rhythm, who uploaded statistics about Bitcoin's network activity on the 2nd of December of the roughly, pay attention, 18.08 million Bitcoin that have been mined. 11.58 million, or around 64% of the supply, have stayed in their wallets. They have not moved over the course of 2018, or since 2018. The figure is striking, as during the same exact time, Bitcoin's dollar price expanded from 3,100 to 13,800 in 6 months. One would have assumed if the Bitcoin price is going up that dramatically, people would have sold off just to, make their money back, get out of the market, yada, yada, yada. However, nearly 12 million Bitcoin did not move. Subsequently, markets reversed downward, shaving 52% off the highs to reach 6,500. Rhythm then said, hodlers of last resort are insane. According to the data, the amount of dormant Bitcoin as a percentage of the total supply has sharply increased in recent years. The trend has remained intact during both bull markets and bear markets, signaling a desire among investors to save rather than spend regardless of profitability. You want to know what I think? Remember when I said before, I don't think that there's a lot of Bitcoin actually circulating around? The amount of news that we, me, you, I, us, they, us, me and you, have gotten over the last year and a half of these mega institutions, these mega investors, this yada, 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 who have been either buying up Bitcoin or storing Bitcoin or custodying Bitcoin, has been quite dramatic. It hasn't just been one company. It's at least been 8 to 15, rough number. I don't remember the exact number of companies we've spoken about who are custodying Bitcoin. The fact that during a time of crisis, going from $3,100 to $13,800, almost 12 million Bitcoin did not move, leads me to believe the actual circulating, actually moving around the market number of Bitcoin is dramatically lower than a lot of people keep on saying. And this is something that I mentioned before. We've seen that it's fairly easy to move the Bitcoin markets and or scare people. I'm so hungry. Or scare people. If you move around 15, 25, 30,000 Bitcoin from one wallet to another, it spooks the, the whale watchers and stuff like that. I would not be surprised. Rather, I believe in my heart. What's taking place is fairly obvious. This is 11.58 million Bitcoin that hasn't moved since 2018. We are at the end of 2019. Think of how long that is. And that's just stuff that hasn't been moved. That's not Bitcoin that's been accumulated or has been dumped into extra wallets, because that would have counted as other Bitcoin that would have been moved from those wallets or have been swapped somewhere else. I firmly believe there's probably less. It has to be anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million Bitcoin that's actually circulating. The other Bitcoin that we see as far as these movements and stuff like that, I'm fairly certain at this point it has to just be bots who are trading this cryptocurrency that's not actually, like, these coins aren't actually actively, if you want to look at it this way, going back into circulation. The bots are doing it so that even if they just trade on like a 1 to 2, 3, 4% margin when the looking looks good, that they can reclaim that Bitcoin back and forth. And this is what I think we're seeing all the swing trades and yada, yada, yada going on. As far as the news that we keep getting for institutions who are buying up cryptocurrencies, and also the major players, no one knows who are putting in, I'm going to sell 38,000 Bitcoin. The market tanks on that exchange, and then on another exchange, people are buying it up, and then this sell order disappears. We've had far too much news like that. I can't. It's just far too obvious at this point exactly what's going on. There's not many markets out there where people would have had a Bitcoin or any stock price. Imagine a stock price that had tanked, wasn't doing very well, and had gone from $31 to $138, even as we were continuing to get news, bearish this, bearish that, so and so. A lot of people would have sold off. A lot of the stock that had stayed dormant would have been sloshed around very easily. This always lets me know, in my eyes, the way I see it, that Bitcoin is going to be a safe haven if it is not one already. The news that we had got before about the companies and institutions who are locking up Bitcoin and locking up this and putting it away and so and so and so, those are just the ones who have been transparent and told us. I think maybe more to like also boast about how much Bitcoin they're also custodying. That's not even, imagine the other companies in the other banks who've also been buying. Someone mentioned, remember in the video that I had, I think it was yesterday, that I found the news article about Fidelity mining Bitcoin in 2017. A couple of people told me in the comment section that apparently someone had slipped, come forward, said something. There was information that apparently Fidelity had been mining Bitcoin since apparently, allegedly, from what the internet tells me, since 2015. That's crazy. That means that these organizations and these companies have been buying, holding, stocking it somewhere in some hyperbolic time chamber. I don't know exactly where they're putting it. It's so obvious at this point. It's just a little, I like that we have whale watchers. I think sometimes I see what they say and I'm like, yeah, okay. But this is very significant over the course of a 2-year period, just about 2 years. We're almost near 2020. 11.58 million Bitcoin. 64% of all the Bitcoin that has been mined has simply not moved. I hope you understand the significance of that. And I'm hoping that by the end of next year, we get another metric like this. I don't know who Rhythm is, but please keep doing what you're doing. I would love to see more numbers like this because I think people, the way that I see it, for those of you who want to know, I feel like we're being shown that there's stuff circulating when there really isn't a lot. We are, 7.4 billion people on this planet? At least the numbers that we have are anywhere from 50 to 100 million people on the planet are into Bitcoin, crypto, and stuff like that. Not to mention, I would say a fairly strong, anywhere from 5 to 10,000 mega rich people on the planet who are probably into the Bitcoin space in some sort of way. If there had been actual accurate news, especially imagine the other, not the other. So we know the 64% hasn't moved. Imagine if there was another 26% that we knew had been accumulated and had been thrown into other wallets and also hadn't been moved. Like that wallet just kept on increasing. Imagine if that had actually made it to crypto news or to traditional mainstream finance news. What impact that would actually have on the price. And this is why I always love news like this, because it's normally very hush hush. This isn't from this news isn't from an institution. It's from someone who did their own due diligence and their own research on the internet and found all of this stuff out. This is one of the other reasons why I'm always so confused why prices aren't higher. Anyway, here's the actual tweet right here. It says 11,508,000 Bitcoin have not moved in over a year. Even with an 85% increase in price during the same time, those millions of Bitcoin were sold or not traded. Let's move on. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I was looking at nothing. Anyway, the International Monetary Fund is requesting, this is a very fascinating one because we keep getting news about the International Monetary Fund. as far as dealings in Bitcoin or in crypto. The International Monetary Fund is requesting Georgia, the country, to provide better information from cryptocurrency mining activities. Georgia is one of the countries with the largest number of cryptocurrency miners. However, they are not properly reflecting crypto mining activities on their GDP estimations. According to the Trend News Agency, representatives, I tried opening this and the whole thing was in Russian, and I'm pretty sure there was a part that was asking me to like pay for something, and I was like, I can't read you, so I'm not paying. According to the Trend News Agency, representatives of the International Monetary Fund have been talking about the whole cryptocurrency market with crypto mining companies located within Georgia. At the moment, Georgia became a Bitcoin exporter, air quotes, and this should be properly registered to have a better idea of how much US dollar activity the mining activity provides to the nation. The International Monetary Fund said, and I do quote, "The IMF is working with Georgia on other matters, including on improving statistics. We are consulting on improving the methodology for calculating the foreign trade balance, and in particular, we are actively discussing the possibility of introducing accounting for cryptocurrency mining." End quote. This information would be very important to understand, which is the impact that crypto mining activities have in a specific country and how it is possible to better regulate the market. I think it actually goes beyond regulating. The International Monetary Fund wants Georgia to include its Bitcoin sales on its trade balance to have a better understanding of the whole industry. As the International Monetary Fund mentioned, the government should watch the industry closely and include crypto information on its GDP. Do you understand what this means? The International Monetary Fund has spoken with a country who is, I assume they have relatively cheap electricity for them to be a crypto mining industry country, has told them to put this on their trade balance for the amount of money, the money that's flowing in and out of the country, GDP, onto the actual order books because of cryptocurrency mining. We now know multiple times that cryptocurrency mining has been seen as a legitimate industry through multiple countries around the world. When a country starts to declare that they're making money, or that they made X amount of money, or that they made 5% of their total GDP, just a rough number, from mining a cryptocurrency, this opens up other countries to not only legitimize crypto mining, but start doing it themselves. If we get news anywhere that there's a country, not Georgia in particular, that there's a country that's struggling financially, they invest, turn on a couple hundred of thousands, whatever machines, and Bitcoin mining alone accounts for 10% of their GDP. This causes an explosion in the amount of other countries who are going to start mining cryptocurrencies. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Not that all of you are a wall. When we get news like this constantly on a daily basis, I can't make it any clearer. The International Monetary Fund went to a country and told them to start putting Bitcoin into their GDP, as they are apparently seen as a Bitcoin exporter, creator. I don't even know what the actual word for that would be anymore. It's the same exact thing with the other three countries who went to the International Monetary Fund and said that they were going to start launching bonds against Bitcoin as well, which means that they would have to have the Bitcoin to be able to issue those bonds. What isn't clear at this point? And even more so, what isn't clear about the fact that Bitcoin, BTC, is going to be the coin that's used over Bcash or BSV. I've seen a lot of people in the comment section the last couple of days telling other people just nonsense, complete nonsense, like Bcash is clearly going to be the #1 coin really soon. When you listen, find me 5 articles. I was going to say 15. Find me 5 articles of governments, countries, banks, institutions besides Bitmain who are mining Bcash or mining BSC. When you find news that the International Monetary Fund has told another country to put their Bcash exportation mining stuff onto their GDP, I'll be slightly more inclined to believe that these other scam coins are going to make it. What has to happen for it to click in people's heads that Bitcoin is going to be the coin that changes the world? What exactly is it that people need to really... I was gonna say something violent. I can't think of any... Geez, violence is like very permanent in our society. I can't think of anything else to say. The point being, this is major. It's not making the rounds in the crypto news. I think a lot of other people are still focused once again on the price. The International Monetary Fund, I wonder how closely linked that they are to Bitcoin. If we ever get news, I swear to actual goodness, if we ever get news that the International Monetary Fund themselves is mining Bitcoin or has bought Bitcoin and Bitcoin's price goes down, that'll let me know that people around the world just aren't paying attention, and I'm going to double or triple up on the amount of Bitcoin that I'm buying. I can't put it any other logical way. The people who make monetary policies around the world are telling other countries to add Bitcoin mining into their GDP. It's crystal clear. It's crystal clear, especially with all the other banks and stuff getting into the space. That's neither here nor there. It's actually here. It's actually very much here. Anyway, great news every day. Great news. Nonstop. I think the other major places that mine crypto, I think Northern Canada. I know Alaska is also apparently one of them, and I want to say Greenland. I don't think it's Iceland. I think it's Greenland. Wherever, and I think parts of Siberia as well. Very fascinating if we also get those country news from that country as well from the IMF. I mean, it's just so freaking clear at this point. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Barebones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohamed Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Mill Wheezy, Mecan Nick, Strange Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas Runner with One Piece, One Love, Damien Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, Vlad the Impaler, Krypton Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Chest every day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes, 2 Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Sammy Buucha, Ting Tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, and Shoop Shoop, Diddy Wop, Hummer Wang Dang. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the momento, top 10 coins are red. Save for Tether. Tether's actually up a little tiny bit. These coins look like they're going down. Some coins are green. Monero. Oh wait, XLM. It was Lumens. They added Lumens. Sorry. Monero is up. Tezos is up. Huobi token is up. Maker is up. BAT is up on $34 million volume. Who knows why? Maybe we get news later. That wasn't English. Maybe we will get news later on about this. Synthetics. Oh, look at that. Look at that trading volume. Woof. All the money. Raven Coin. I'll go Sealy. Sela. Whatever. And Mixin. So, coins that aren't trying to be nice here. Coins that we don't typically hear about. It's a nice way of saying it. Yeah, the prices aren't really reacting to any type of news. We will see in a couple of days if the prices react to, what's it called? The Bitcoin options and the Ethereum supposed upgrade. I hope that you all enjoyed. I hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are. Wherever you might be, I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all, every single one of you, once again for watching and or listening. I'm going to have breakfast. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will most certainly talk to you all soon. See you.